A Turkey Day tradition returns to Motown. It's the Coach. This is a special holiday edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, it will be the 80th Thanksgiving Day game in Detroit as the Lions get set for the second straight year to play host to their NFC North rivals, the Chicago Bears. I'll see you again at halftime, but first we're off to Ford Field. Standing by, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Well, Coach, the seating capacity is 65,000 at Ford Field, and we are right around that number today. A good crowd on hand and seemingly ready to go in the Motor City. Both teams emerging from the Ford Field tunnels just a short time ago. And, of course, the loudest cheers were reserved for the hometown Lions. They're set to go as they will match up with the Chicago Bears. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Bears, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
The bye weeks are over. It's all about football all the time as we're underway here in Week 13. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return. 25 on the touchback. The Lions offense and Matthew Stafford ready to go here. Stafford still a solid quarterback in his 11th season now, but the Lions still yet to win a playoff game under his guidance. And last year's mark of 6-10, the worst since 2012 for the Lions.
Blue 60! Alert! That's right, baby. They don't want it.
A look at Kerryon Johnson, second-year man out of Auburn. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Back to throw, Stafford. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down. And now the offense for Detroit.
And congratulations on their win last week, but they didn't get a whole lot of time to celebrate it on Sunday. They were right back to work on Monday, but you'll have to do things differently when you prepare for a Thursday night game, because normally you'll take some time off. Here you get right back to work on the game plan mentally, and probably not put any pain again Thursday night.
Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11. The shotgun snap for Stafford. And he finds Danny Amendola. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a gain of 14 and a first down for Detroit.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
A look at the starters now defensively for the Bears. In that win last week over the Giants, they were very good.
And while you can't actually see confidence rising in a unit, you can tell by this team, all right? Anytime you can tell your offense, hey, just get us a couple touchdowns. We got this thing locked down. That's when you know you're playing well and you're carrying your team along.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They run the counter. Swift. Give him 8 yards there. Still a few inches to go, though, as it'll be 3rd down at about the length of the football.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for 3rd down. From the gun, here's Stafford. It's caught. Jones. And he will have the first down as he gets this to the 47. Stafford to Jones, enough for a Lion first down.
That throw's not going to get them a whole lot, but that really didn't matter, did it? They got what they needed on that throw. Picked up the first down, and I'm going cliche here. Game of inches, partner.
Absolutely. And you talked to me a lot about opening drives, how key those are to set the tone. You kept the drive alive. 3rd down conversion here is big. So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 47. Out of the gun, Stafford. Open man, he's got him, the tight end, Hockenson. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 6 catches, 56 yards.
And he was able to get open there, but that's not always easy against this bunch defensively. We are deep enough into the season where numbers count. This is the #1 rated defense in the NFL. He'll have a tough time.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. They go back to the ground with Johnson. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Operating from the gun. Stafford, this complete to Jones. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, #1, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you break a tackle and turn it into a bigger game. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over to the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield. And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
So play number 10 now coming. It's been a long opening drive, but this is 3rd down. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. If you make the stop there, maybe you hold them to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. Stafford on first down. And he's got Amendola on the connection. And they'll get this down to the 10. The Lions passing game in sync now. They've got another first down.
His passing's been on point on this drive, hasn't it? Been very accurate, gotten the ball downfield, gained nice chunks of yardage. But now, in this situation, the field is really condensed, partner. So if he's going to throw the football, he'll have to be pinpoint here.
I was going to ask you about that. Field shrinks, has to be sharper, but it's been a good opening drive so far.
Now they just want to see if they can cap it off with the bell ringer and put it in the end zone.
They've made goal line offense a priority on the practice field this week. This is exactly the situation they've been prepping for. Stafford, and it's caught. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Danny Amendola with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Lions take it right down and score on the opening drive. A long opening drive, but a very successful opening drive. We call that methodical, I guess, when it takes that many plays.
Methodical and almost like a boxing match where you're hitting them with body blows. They can withstand them here. Look, they gave up the touchdown, but you don't feel like a knockout is there. But they keep doing that in the 4th quarter. That's when the knockout occurs.
And it becomes tough for that defense if they're on the field that long. We'll see if they can continue that in future drives. For the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. So that drive spans 13 plays, and it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. And leading them, Charles, their quarterback, their field general.
What I enjoyed this week is that you asked to talk to his offensive center before the game and find out a little bit more about him and what the relationship is. And that was a pretty positive story, wasn't it?
Yeah, and really what I took away from that is just how it is permeated throughout the entire offensive line, the relationship they've had. It's really a group that's in sync.
They care about him. That's the thing. They really care. And when you care that much, you're going to play that much harder for him and give him a better chance to lead the team to wins.
Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay.
Delay of game, offense.
They were trying to create some space to run. They created the penalty.
And you work on it so much. You work on it so hard. But it's tough to simulate game speed in practice. That often runs you into a penalty.
Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive.
Delay of game, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards.
Still first down.
Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay.
Delay of game, offense.
And that'll set him back 5.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Still first down.
Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive.
Delay of game, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Still first down.
Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay.
Delay of game, offense.
They're inching closer and closer here to the wrong goal line.
When you're backed up
Still
like
first
that, all you're trying to do is make sure you don't give up a big play, right? You don't miss an assignment that really gets you into more trouble.
Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive.
Delay of game, offense.
They were already backed up. Now they're backed up further.
I think they were being so careful to make sure all assignments were covered that they ended up running themselves out of time.
Back to throw now in his own end zone. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down. And the big boys up front in the trenches, what do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down. They'll throw again from their own end zone. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on third down. Now with just 1 second showing on the play clock, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
I got you, 88. I got you. What's tight? Tight is right. What's tight? Tight is right.
They'll look to throw here. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 20. And they'll spot him at the 3-yard line. Third and long that time. He was trying to make something happen, but a little too risky.
Well, the field tilted on him. And what I mean by that is what you said. Third and long. Got to push it downfield to try and pick up the first down. Defensive backs live for this situation, and they took advantage of the young man right there.
They'll run it with Johnson. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2. Looking at this now, you got a couple more cracks here this close. Sneak it.
I don't think you even go into a huddle. Just line up, snap it, and fall in behind those guys into the end zone.
From the 2 now, second and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. A great effort there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Lions are able to extend their lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points. Get that 0 off the board. Give them a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd and 1 situation.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing him further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Yes, it's the first half, but we'll see if that stuff there on 3rd and 1 comes back to haunt him.
I hope you don't mind, but it's not going to stop me from putting a check mark next to this play. Let's look back as this game progresses and see if this is one of the key plays in the game, even though it occurred early.
Oh, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle it.
That'll be a 48-yard punt, 1 yard on the return. And the Lions will take over. And Detroit getting set to go now. They're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 16. They begin the drive with Johnson. So we got 3 at 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. Roquan Smith, fresh off a solid rookie campaign, in on the tackle for Chicago.
Check 26, check 26.
On 2nd down, Swift. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time, and the Bears take over. Onto the field now come the Bears. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy... He's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Here we go on 2nd and 12. Now they go screen. It's complete. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down.
So many screen passes are the result of excellent acting by everyone. But sometimes the guy who's getting the ball tips the play off. The running back, because he's eager to get the pass, and sometimes he doesn't act very well about whether he's going to block or leak out or whatever. And I think that they saw that, and that's why they're able to get to him on it.
Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. It's the 2nd quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series. So those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. Now to Galladay on the jet sweep. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. The Lions on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this play going to be stopped in its tracks at the 32, and obviously well short of the 1st down. It'll be a gain of 5, and the punt team will now come out on 4th down.
Well, they got off the field on 3rd down. An excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments, and usually only at halftime. But the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in fine style.
And after getting tackled, he's still down and looking very slow to get up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still 2nd quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, people say bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
23 yards the pickup there.
Pretty nice play here. They go read option, read the defensive end, and when he claps down inside, how about the quarterback pulling it, keeping it, and not only getting to the 2nd level, but picking up some really nice yardage.
Very, very well read. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
They'll throw this out wide and complete it to Ridley.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense.
Too far downfield, something those linemen have to watch out for, and that time it costs them.
Hey, tight end's right. Watch tight end.
Now a fake on the give here as they try to run pass option. And he's into the clear. The 40, 30, 10, and he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown.
What you just saw there, first-round talent, second year, even more success. A pick six for a touchdown.
A great play. And it's tough for these guys, you've told me before, to adjust in the secondary as a first-year guy. So that sophomore season is big for them.
They really start to expand the playbook for them even more. Sometimes they dumb it down a little bit to make them comfortable year one. By year two, they should have all the nuances, and now they've adjusted to the speed of NFL play as well.
Showed right there. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates. Find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
So if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up. Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Well, it's looking like another 3 and out here, and at some point, got to be able to put together a drive to keep your defense from having to go right back out on the field. I feel like things are starting to unravel a little bit, and we're not even at halftime.
Almost outkicked his coverage there. 48-yard punt, but 10 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Back onto the field comes the offense. Let's take a closer look at Kerryon Johnson. And he's had his chances in this game. He just hasn't been able to find any daylight so far.
Patience, patience, patience. And that's the hard part for a runner because they expect every run to be a big one for something to pop. So they have to sometimes go through the struggles before it happens for them later in the game. But you got to give credit to the rest of the team. They've worked around the fact that he hasn't had his normal big game.
Yeah, despite his struggles, still winning here in the second quarter. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
False start.
They expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
Now it's Stafford. And that is incomplete. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. Amazing. Perfectly placed. If that ball goes 1 extra yard, maybe not even an extra yard, the starting point is the 20.
So there is a reason that a lot of punters are also excellent golfers. They know distance control. You know what else they have? Same groove motion over and over. Once they have that down, it repeats under pressure. Well, he got what he could there, just trying to move forward and gain a little bit of yardage and create some space. You know the pressure is going to be tough defensively.
And he'll take this up to about the 7 or 8 yard line. He'll get 5 out of the keeper, but now it's 3rd down. The Bears on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Open man is Miller. He's got it. And they'll get him down up past the 15. It's a pickup of 10 and a Bears first down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Looks like he's going to get a couple here on this first down carry, and that'll make it 2nd and 8. Romeo Okwara in on the tackle. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. He can run for it, and he will.
Holding offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
And this 3rd down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. Now this time he'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
Back onto the field comes the offense. Let's take a closer look at Kerryon Johnson. Now, the good news, his team's winning. The bad news, he hasn't had the game that he's hoped to, at least to this point here in the 2nd quarter.
And a lot of that is pride, because these types of backs want to be in the center of all the action and leading their team to victory. They'll take the win right now, hoping to jump his game up as this one moves on.
He probably wants a little bit more of the spotlight going forward.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. 23 yards the pickup there.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. To throw is Stafford. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Well, that last completion is certainly not what they were hoping for, as now they'll try to convert on 3rd. Stafford looks to throw again. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. Now the Bears going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through. And that stretches this lead even further. It's now 24-0. So a good snap, good hold, and right down the middle.
Never in doubt. Just the way you used to hit them, partner.
You mean like kicking the ball?
Exactly.
So that was in high school.
Doesn't matter. I don't care what level. You hit them, they go through.
A reminder, if you think we're done after this, you are so wrong. We've got the Bills and Cowboys in the traditional Thanksgiving afternoon game in Dallas, and then one more after that to top it all off. The Saints and the Falcons from Atlanta, 8 Eastern. Finish your turkey, finish your pie, and watch us. 30 seconds remain in this first half as they come up here 1st and 10.
We got 4. We got 4.
And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. Now the Bears will use their 3rd and final timeout as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1.
Strong right.
2nd and 5. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, guys, thanks very much. We'll get back with you shortly. But first, let's take a look at what's coming up this weekend around the NFL. One of the best of the early games, we'll highlight it there. The Giants in for a stern test at home at MetLife Stadium as they'll take on the always tough Green Bay Packers. Then in the afternoon window, all eyes will be on Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, where it'll be the Steelers taking on the Cleveland Browns. And finally, on Monday Night Football, wrap up your Cyber Monday with the Vikings and the Seahawks from CenturyLink Field in Seattle. In the game you're watching, it's Matthew Stafford who's had it working in the first half. His guys have the lead as we'll hand it back over to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken at his 4. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Now that's the way you want to start a drive. Talk about a tone setter as well as a playbook opener. Now if you want to take a big shot over the top, you're all positioned to do so.
And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Out of the gun now on third down. And that's knocked away and incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Akeem Hicks able to record his 5th sack of the season. So they come out of the locker room trailing, but plays like that, they won't be trailing much longer. Defense really starting out well this second half.
Yeah, they knew they had to jumpstart things a little bit. They really struggled in the first half trying to slow them down, but now they had a plan, made that adjustment that we always talk about, and it worked very well on that play.
Only 3 yards on the pickup. They'll be left staring at a 3rd and 14.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
3rd and long. It's Stafford. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the first.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try to figure out what is working, and call more of that.
14 yards into Chicago, first down. Well, CD, a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now a handoff here to his running back. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
Haven't met a defensive coordinator yet that thinks 2nd and 2 is a fun situation to try and defend. Playbook is wide open for an offense, partner.
Nice job holding to 1 after the defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. Touchdown, Chicago. A great play there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Bears get a bit closer. Well, if they're going to make a game of this in the second half, they need a few big plays to go their way. That's one.
And the way to get it done is to also conserve time. So to your point, that big play right there, now you're not moving the ball downfield, taking time off the clock. You're leaving yourself a better avenue to continue to try and make a comeback.
Looking to throw, and he's got it for the 2-point conversion. So they tack on a pair more here to narrow that deficit a bit further. Well, it's still an uphill battle from here, that's for sure, but that makes it a 2-score game.
And now we see why teams practice so much on the 2-point conversion, why you have more than one play ready, because you may need multiples to throw out a ball game. There's a great example right there.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Throwing is Stafford. Caught by Jones. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
He's not going anywhere.
Now a first down throw. Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Eddie Goldman with a sack.
Like how they've started the third quarter here. They force a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their second win coming out of the locker room. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole. 3rd and long. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
And he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the first.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive that culminated in a touchdown, I think they carry that confidence into this one. Doesn't matter where you start with the football now, they have to feel great about their opportunity.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A big-time gain there on the keeper, using his legs to hurt him. First down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. There's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, they have had success when he keeps the ball running it, but not in that situation. I mean, I think we got an example of why NFL coaches really don't like their quarterback in the running game.
Because whether he keeps it or not, he's likely going to take a hit, isn't he?
No doubt about it. And defenses, they're looking to put that hit on quarterback. Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll try and run for it with Foster. He's got a first down and much more inside the 20. And he's all the way down to the 13-yard line. 18 yards on that one, and Chicago has the first.
This has been a good drive so far, and it's been the running game for the most part that's powered them down there. Another nice burst there, picking up a first down. Now it's 1st and 10, as you said, in the red zone.
On first, they stick with Foster. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. On second down now, it's Foster. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. The Bears on third down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This time they face a 3rd and 2. And he will find Ridley. That's complete. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Well, they opted not to run it. They completed the pass on 3rd and 2, but they lost yardage to bring up 4.
But give credit to the guys on the other side of the ball. They snuffed out the play. But it does bring into question, 1, the play call, because they didn't run the ball there. They could have run it. And 2, just not getting it. That's got to be deflating for them.
After the field goal, on to kick it away is Pinheiro. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
A run there on first down going nowhere as he stopped right at the 25. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Well, they have the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Stafford now to throw. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. The Lions on third down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This will be 3rd and 6. Now Stafford. Screenplay, Johnson. And he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the first as the tackle is made at the 33. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And now it's the punter Weil on as he sends this one away. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. And the drive starts with a completion left side. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. At this stage, it's a foot race. He's at the 40, the 20, 10, touchdown, Chicago. A big play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season as his guys are back within a single score. So that's a really big play here in the 4th quarter. And don't look now. They're right back in this game.
Did it feel to you, as it did to me, that maybe they were a little bit soft in what they were lining up with on defense? Almost like they were protecting the lead rather than trying to make a play.
And now that lead is down to just 1 score. Eddie Pinheiro now for the extra point. And the lead will shrink to 6. The quick strike ability certainly intact there. 2 plays, 80 yards to score it. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. So here come the Lions now. They've been asleep for a little while on this side of the football, Charles, and the score is just a one-score game now. Haven't had any points this half. What gives?
Let's go old school here. All right, let's get back to the basics. Get back to running the football. High percentage throws. Find the guys that eat pressure.
And that is intercepted by the all-pro safety, Eddie Jackson. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. So they obviously declined that, and it is a touchdown.
They still had the option, but let's face it.
There's no option.
There's no option when you score a touchdown. An easy call for them.
Pinheiro now to add the extra point. And they have taken the lead here in this fourth quarter. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone, and no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And they gave up the pick six, and now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now, as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go-around?
You should be, just because after what you gave up, but you can't be so cautious as to just really take things in, and now you're not going to play loose enough to give your team a chance to score. But you still have to be careful because those defensive guys, I know the reputation defense guys can't catch. All evidence to the contrary on that last possession, though.
If you're thinking of a comeback here, you go to 2016. That's when Stafford had an NFL record 8 fourth-quarter comebacks. But last year, despite playing all 16 games, he had 0. Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller's thinking, what have I done before? This worked well.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Everson Griffin has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
That's a 49-yard punt, 8 though on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now the Bears coming out as they get ready. And they had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
And he's got room. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
This is one of those plays that could go either way, but we've seen the influence of the college game now in the NFL, where we're seeing more and more of these plays run, and that one went for a big gain.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Back to throw. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. They'll get 4 there out of the screen, and it's 2nd down.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed, but all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big gain.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Now a fake on the give here as they try to run pass option. Romeo Okwara in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team that had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
So third down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. On third down, it's Gibson. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
Well, sometimes, Brandon, there's just not a secret to how things get done. He's been running well all game long, and they continue to rely on him in this key situation.
They told us they were going to rely on him. They have. He comes through there, a big third down conversion. First down carry for Foster. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. He's got his tight end, David Njoku. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on third down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up second and goal. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on second and goal. They'll keep it on the ground. Gibson. And he gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4. Fourth quarter, 2 minutes on the clock in a tight 1-point game. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got it third and goal now as they look for that final touchdown to salt this one away. And trying to push forward, but he is going to be stuffed up in the backfield. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. The kick by Pinheiro is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
On a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Back out is Matthew Stafford in the Lions offense. And right now, probably just one thing in his mind, it's getting back to the hot start because he's really faded.
And ordinarily when that happens, the quarterback, as you know, is usually the leader of the squad. Now there's probably a silent camaraderie that comes around him saying, hey, guess what? We got you. Don't worry about it. Let's go, big fella. Because they know more times than not, he tends to pick things up, and they tend to play well.
On second down, Johnson. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Now it's Stafford. Open man, he's got him, the tight end, Hockenson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Stafford. First down, Detroit. 16 yards on the pickup. Underneath for Johnson. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. Stafford barking out signals and trying to get his guys set quickly. Dumping it off for Johnson. Oh, no, he lost the football. And this is picked up by the Bears. And the ball is going to wind up out of bounds, so they will lose yardage, but they'll keep the football.
Well, that simply is a missed opportunity. They're in position. If they take the ball downfield and score, they've got a chance to win the game. Instead, they cough it up. I don't think next week at practice is going to be a whole lot of fun for him.
On the other side, no bigger time to force a turnover when you've got that small lead.
Yeah, and when you look at it from the offense's perspective, taking care of the ball, so important. I know they're going to have all kind of ball security drills in practice all next week.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at the 45. They'll run on 1st down. It's Gibson, and he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game. Right back to him on 1st down. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college. And how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
A great come-from-behind victory in this one, Charles, and really the difference, obviously, was that 4th quarter. They dominated.
And it has to start with believing that you can make that comeback. Because we've been in games before. We've done games where you can just look at one team and realize they have no chance of making it back. Not in the one we just saw here. They did it, and they did it well.
So for the Bears, the win moves them a couple games over 500 now at 7-5. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for Detroit, they fall to 6-6 now on the campaign. And they'll be off to Minneapolis next week for a look at new U.S. Bank Stadium and a date with the Vikings. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.